Hi everyone, welcome to Traveling Misknits. My name is Pia and I am so very happy that you're joining me here today for episode 100 on this channel. I cannot believe that I have done 100 episodes since the day that I shakingly sat up in my craft room and tried podcasting in English for the very first time. I was mainly motivated by my beautiful and amazing daughter-in-law, Maria. I had learned that she would pop on my Danish episodes just so that her and John could sit and listen to my voice. And I was like, no, they should also be able to hear what I'm saying, because sometimes I do include just a little bit of life stuff at the end of the episodes. So I decided, no, I'm gonna try to do this in English. And it was terrifying, but I did it, and this is the 100th time that I'm doing it. We're of course gonna celebrate. We're gonna have a little giveaway, and later in the episode I'm gonna tell you more about that. First, I want to show you a pattern release that I have just made. I want to show you a finished object connected to said pattern release, a new cast on, and some fun stuff that I've been working on over the week. Today, I am wearing my cat number, I'm blanking, 3? I think maybe 3. I am gonna put it in the description box below this video, where I'm gonna put links to all the things that I talk about. But yeah, the cat number, probably 3, is just a little vest that ties or buttons here in the sides. In the pattern, I give instructions on how to make ties and how to add button and buttonholes. But other than that, it is just a simple little vest that is so versatile. I use these vests. I have 2, 3 different versions of this one, and I use them so much during fall, winter, and spring. And even sometimes in summer, I'll use them as a t-shirt. Not the tied ones, but the button-up ones. They are constructed top down in the round, so you cast on for the neckline, and then you do a lot of increases here on the shoulder seam until you reach the width that you want. And from there, you just knit down, do a few rapid increases here at the end of the armhole, and you knit the front and the back separately, and finish off with a twisted ribbing. This version is knit in a yak silk blend from A Knitter's World. It is a DK weight. So there are so many different options to choose from. You work the ribbings on the sleeve openings, arm openings, together with the main body. So the only finishing you have to do after knitting is adding either the ties or the buttons, because I really don't like finishing. But yeah, my cat number, probably 3, and I will leave a link in the description correcting myself if I'm wrong, which I could be. I have just released the pattern for my Sienna rug, and I showed you this one on my last episode. I can just put it on again. This is my version of a shrug where I try to put together all the things that I like in a shrug. I like that it's just a little bit form-fitting. So you do have some shoulder shaping, but still it's not too fitted. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a sweater and just didn't knit the sleeves. So yeah, I love a good shrug, and if you have been following along on this channel for a while, you already know that. I love shrugs. I have knit a ton of different shrugs and I use them a lot. I use them, well, not over a vest. That looks kind of funny, but I would use this over this shirt without the vest instead of the vest. I use it over t-shirts. I use it over jackets. And I also think that this version can be used with my winter coat. I already tried that out as a very big, luxurious cowl. So yeah, I am loving this thing. I do have a few fun details. First of all, the stitch pattern. This is a very waffly textured pattern. It is in the brioche family. It's called the rose pattern. It's very easy to knit. If you are a little hesitant about brioche knitting, maybe this could be your gateway to brioche, because it is simple, but you are still in the brioche family. It only consists of knits, purls, and knitting in the stitch below, so you don't have any of the more difficult parts where you do yarn overs and such. There's a wide ribbing at the bottom and a tall neckline, and in those sections I have been playing with color. I have 4 different colors in the shrug. In this one, it's a brown, a black, a gold, and then this mauve colorway. The neckline is a double neckline. First, you cast on up here and you knit a small neckline and go into the rose pattern. Then after knitting the shrug, you continue to pick up stitches on the inside of the neckline to make a really tall neck that is then supported and helped to sit nicer because of the short neckline on the outside of it. And I suggest doing the Italian cast on and bind off. It's a lot of sewing, but it is really nice for a shrug because it is super stretchy and it looks very polished and finished. But of course you can substitute whatever cast on, bind off that you prefer, as long as they're stretchy. But yeah, a little bit of color play on this one, but mainly some cozy autumnal colors. I do have another version finished last week. I think I already cast it on, didn't I? This is maybe even more a sienna shrug than the first one, because this one is inspired by the cathedral in Siena. It is very, very beautiful. It is made of white marble. And then there are black marble details and stripings on it, and a little bit of pink marble. The doors are copper and they're greenish because of age. So I took those colors and used them all in a sienna shrug. And these are all yarns that I have been playing with over the summer, trying to dye up. So unfortunately, I cannot guide you to how to get these, but I know that with all the many talented and really amazing hand dyers that we have out there, you're gonna be able to find something similar. I'm not a hand dyer, by no means. I'm just someone who plays around with it. But yeah, this is a totally different version of the sienna shrug. One that hopefully can settle the argument that Peter and I have. Is sienna better than Luca, or is Luca number one? It's definitely sienna, definitely. I am working on a third version because why not? They're quick to make, and I really like how they can either elevate my outfit, make it a little more elegant, or cozy it up if that's the mood that I'm in. So yeah, I cast on another one. It is in my going out and about knitting bag. This is from by Maki, and it's made in this waxed cotton with a faux leather bottom. So this one has taken so many beatings over the years, and it's gonna take more. This is the bag that I often use for the project that is just gonna be stuffed into my purse or thrown in the back of my car or whatever. But for this one, I am using some colors that are not what I would typically use. I'm using blue, green, a deep burgundy red, and a shaded black, just so that I have something that feels normal. But yeah, these are also colors that I made over the summer, and I fell in love with this dark, interesting blue. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and use it in a shrug, because you only need, depending on how you place the stripes, you can actually get away with 2 skeins of DK for sizes 1 and 2. Then you're just gonna have to, you're gonna run out after knitting the main section, so you're not gonna have a lot of main color to put in the stripes. But you know, I'll just stripe with some of the other colors. This shrug, now that I mentioned the size, it only comes in 4 sizes. But the pattern gives instructions on how to modify it to fit your measurements exactly. The reason for not making a ton of sizes, I could easily have done that, but it is such a simple pattern. So what I would rather have is people measuring themselves over the arms and the body. You're probably going to need someone to help you. It can be done, but it's easier if someone helps you. When you have that measurement, I recommend from 5 centimeters, 2 inches of positive ease, and all the way down to 15 centimeters or 6 inches of negative ease. I wear mine with 6 inches of negative ease, and I like that look, but you will get more of a poncho-like look if you add some positive ease. You're gonna be between sizes. We all are between sizes. So what I recommend is that you cast on for the smaller of the sizes that you are in between of. And then in the pattern, I give instructions on, now you can change the width of your shrug, and now you can change the length. So I thought that would be a better option than to have a gazillion sizes in such a simple pattern, because it is really, really simple. But yeah, this one is my going out knitting, because now I have knit this rose pattern so much, so I can actually do it more or less without looking. Sometimes I have to just look down on my knitting just to see, am I still doing the right thing? Am I still at the right spot? The rose pattern is quite easy to read. It's one of those patterns where if you look at your stitches, you can see what you're going to be doing with them. That will come really, really fast as you start knitting with it. But yeah, on this one, you can clearly see what I said about casting on with the smaller neckline and knitting the body down. And then later I'm going to come back, pick up stitches here on the inside of the low neckline and then add the high neckline. So yeah, I am having a lot of fun. Somehow a shrug just feels like less of a commitment than a sweater. Obviously, it is much less of a commitment, but it really feels like nothing. So that makes me want to play with color more. I am beginning to appreciate color. I am slowly graduating from all the grays and the neutrals and trying to add just a little bit of color to my knitting and my life. But yeah, the Sienna Shrug, the pattern is available on Ravelry and in my web shop. And for the first week, there's going to be a 15% discount if you use the code Sienna. And that is valid both on Ravelry and in my own web shop. So enjoy. Another thing that I have on my needles is yet another of these little sweaters. Returning viewers will have seen this exact child's sweater. This is the third that I'm knitting this summer. I started out by knitting one for my grandson, John, who picked out yarn himself. He was up in my studio. He came back with a fistful of yarns and asked if I would knit him a sweater. And of course I would. And he helped design it. And what we ended up with was this one. There is a video, couple of videos back, where he's wearing it and telling me how he wants me to finish it because I didn't do it right the first time. Then I proceeded to knit one for my youngest son's youngest son because his birthday was coming up. Theo already got his sweater, but it's here. I just, I did some contrasting edges on that one, and I duplicate stitched just his, the T, his first letter. John has a younger brother, so I am gonna knit a matching sweater for him, for Lucas. I'm not gonna put Mickey on this one. I'm gonna put a car because he loves cars. He loves Blaze, he loves Lightning McQueen, and I started out fresh. I was like, I'm gonna do Lightning McQueen. How hard can it be? So I pulled up my Excel sheet that I have made so that the squares on the sheet are the same size as my knitting stitches so that it's easy to draw a pattern and have it come out as I draw it. And I started looking at pictures of Lightning McQueen. He's complicated. So I just came up with a happy smiley car and I'm gonna put that on the front and I think he'll be happy. I did choose the same color as I did for John's sweater. So they're gonna be matching the car that I'm gonna put. I'm also gonna duplicate stitch in black like I did John's Mickey. He's also going to have a laughing mouth so that you can see the tongue, as John explained to me. Going to do the same kind of mouth on the car. So they're going to be really matching sweaters without being the same, which is something I really enjoy with the little ones. I want to finish this before we go to Texas. In 2 weeks, we're going to, a little less than 2 weeks actually, we're going to go to Texas to stay with them for a while. So I hope to finish it before that. And this is also in a bag from Knitwear by Maki. I really like this size of bag that she makes. She, of course, makes a lot of regular sized bags, like sweater sized, but this is her sock bag, which is so much bigger than a usual sock bag, but you can easily just fold it up if you only have one sock in it. But this is gonna probably hold this sweater until I'm done. I have 1 or 2 extra balls of yarn in here and the sweater. The yarn that I'm using, no ball band, obviously. I am back to using my Drops Merino Extra Fine, which is my preferred yarn for knitting for children. It is a very budget-friendly yarn. It is superwash treated, so if it ends up in the washing machine, which I try to avoid that, but if it happens, it's going to be good. The beauty of this yarn, which is also the problem with this yarn, is that it grows like a beast when it's wet. So if you're not being very, very careful with it, you're going to end up with quite the big sweater. But if you're careful, you can plug it to the exact measurements that you knit it to. And then as the child grows, you will just block it more and more aggressively. And I think there's at least 1 to 2 sizes of growth in a kid's sweater. So this is definitely my favorite yarn for knitting for kids. The last thing that I have been knitting on this week is something that is bringing me so much joy. It's something that I haven't shown for a while. It is my blanket, one of my many, many blankets. The blanket that I am making out of Drops Puna. Let me just decide in which order I'm going to show this. I'm going to start by showing the yarn. I had a lot of single odd balls of Drops Puna in all sorts of earthy tones. I don't have all of them here, but all of these beautiful earthy tones. I had like 3-4 balls in the different colorways. It was something that I bought a long time ago. And I have been a little unsure. This is not my favorite yarn for garment making. It is 100% alpaca, which means that it is so drapey and so heavy. It's such a heavy fiber. And also it is just a little bit, I'm sensitive to alpaca, a little bit itchy to me. When I touch it in the ball, I'm like, this is the softest thing ever. But when I put it on my forehead or on my neck, it just, I don't really love it. So I've been a little bit like, what to do with these? So I decided to make a blanket out of big garter squares. And they are quite big, as you can see, in all these different colors. Here is the last of the colors. So there's a light sandy beige, light gray, and almost black, brownish gray, a medium brown, and a medium gray. Each square uses up 1 ball, and I have been knitting on this for quite a while. The way that I am making the squares is I start out with just 4 stitches, and then I work increases all the way up until I have 70 stitches, and then I start decreasing. And because I want I am making my increases just as yarn overs, so I get these little holes in the side, and I want the holes on the side of the decrease rows as well. So I'm actually knitting 2 stitches, then I'm doing a yarn over, and then I knit 3 together, so that when I finish knitting, you can't tell which end I'm doing increases and where I'm doing decreases. I haven't shown you this for a while, but I've made quite a lot of squares, and also a couple this week, as I said. I used to do this Blankets of Calm episodes where I would go through all of my knitted and crocheted blankets, because I love blanket making. Blanket making is my happy place. Blankets don't count in your WIP pile, and blankets don't have a finish date. They don't judge you. They don't stare at you like, are you going to finish me or not? They're just sitting there waiting for you to pick them up, work on them a little bit, and put them down again. Blankets are patient. But yeah, I do think I'm going to retire my Blankets of Calm episodes and just incorporate my blanket making in my regular episodes, because now fall is here. In Denmark, fall starts on September 1st. So fall is here. I'm gonna enjoy all of the blanket making. I know that's what happens for me. So I'm just gonna include the blanket making in the regular episodes. But yeah, I am almost at the 70 stitches with this square. I am just knitting away. I am using some needles that I really love. I don't know that they're necessarily the most pleasurable to knit with, because they are jumper needles or straight needles, but they're short. That really helps a lot. These are made from bone, so they're very, very smooth, and they're very, very beautiful, and they're so pleasant to touch, because they're smooth, as I said, as smooth as metal, but they're warm. They're warm to the touch, where metal needles can feel like a little bit cold, a little bit unfriendly sometimes, which is why I often use wooden needles. But wooden needles have a little too much grip, I think, for this particular project, because I am knitting it at a rather loose gauge. I don't want a blanket that is like massive, heavy, and very tight. I want something loose and something where you can actually see the drape of this yarn. So these needles are perfect for that. Originally, I thought that 20 squares would be enough. But then at one point, I laid them out on the floor, and I could tell, nah, 20 is not going to be enough. I'm going to want 30. I'm going to want a big, big, big blanket that I can really curl up and be very, very cozy. Couldn't you see it just in the couch there? Big, lovely blanket to cozy up in on cold winter nights. So yeah, it's gonna take a while, but again, blankets don't judge. There's no rush in blanket making. It happens when it happens. But for now, these little squares are definitely my my safety valve. When things get too much, when I feel overwhelmed, I will just work on a blanket square and be so very happy. So yeah, that was it for the creative content. And I just realized that all of the project bags that I have shown this week are all from the same maker. They're all from Knitwear by Maki. I did not plan this. Perhaps I should have planned it, because the 100 episode giveaway prize is a set of project bags from Knitwear by Maki. Isn't that amazing? It is this beautiful autumnal, just look at the fabric, isn't it beautiful? And it is a dark denim here at the bottom. They have these squared bottoms so they can really stand by themselves. Now there's nothing in it, but when I use these bags, I will often fold the top down like this and then just sit it on the couch next to me, and I can knit from it without any tangles or any problems. They are zippered bags, which I like because I often squish out my knitting bag to put them either in a suitcase or a purse. So I really prefer the zippered bags, and they have these little leather handles, so they're easy to carry with you. You can even use them for some walking and knitting. If you have like a simple sweater project where you're just knitting in the round up here on the yoke before it gets too heavy, you could easily use this bag for that. And the other bag of the set is actually one of the sock bags that I just sang the praises to. I love this size of bag. It is so perfect. It fits so much more than you would think without taking up a lot of space in your purse or your suitcase or wherever you are gonna stuff it. So yeah, I'm in love with this autumnal fabric. Oh, those deep, soft tones. So pretty. Here is Malene's card. You can find her on Instagram. That's where she sells her bags. Knitwear by Maki on Instagram. I am going to link her Instagram profile in the show notes so that you can go and take a look. She always sells her bags on Instagram. She does offer international shipping as well as domestic. She's also a knitwear designer, so when you're there, you can just check out all of her beautiful designs. But yeah, in order to enter to win this beautiful set of project bags, all you have to do is comment on this episode. Let me know what you are working on for fall, and yeah, any comment will enter you to win. And I will draw a winner on the next episode. I was just hesitating because I'm not sure when that's gonna happen. But on the next episode, I am gonna draw the winner. So if you come from the future to watch these episodes back, if there's a 101 episode, then this contest, this giveaway has closed. But yeah, I'm hoping to get an episode out next weekend, but I'm not totally sure. But anyway, until the next episode comes out, you can just put a comment in the comment section below and you will enter to win these beautiful bags. I always love your comments, which is why I am just asking you to comment anything. Often the comment section to me feels like friends are just checking in. You're just keeping each other updated and exchanging ideas. And yeah, I really enjoy reading your comments. They mean the world to me. Peter is often commented that What are you doing? What are you doing on your computer? You have a big grin. That's typically when I'm answering to your comments because they just make me so very happy. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And remember the discount code for the Misknits rug. That's valid for 1 week. It's the code Sienna, and it's valid both on Ravelry and in my own web shop. Until we talk again, stay happy, stay safe, and keep knitting.